everyone. Welcome to today's Big Brother Canada 10 chat.
Well, I can see it's episode 9.
Yes, correct.
So, last time, Steph was blindsided.
Oh, Steph, Gino, JC Lynn, and Kyle were all blindsided.
I was expecting a little poop spot when she got up.
It's a risk wearing a cream-colored dress.
Yeah.
What is wrong with you?
Gino won the HOH, so...
Yeah, I was
okay.
not thrilled by that, but I will say it has been a wild week. If you're not watching the feeds, I will say no more, but it's been a wild week.
Well, Cass is to chaos on Survivor, like Kevin is to chaos in Big Brother 10.
Chaos Kevin, he is loving that this blindside was pulled off.
Me too, Kevin.
He loves the confusion that this has created around the house. It's a lot of fun.
Gino, JC Lynn, and Kyle are just standing around with their freaking thumbs up their ass, like,
honestly,
what's going on?
It was embarrassing watching them try and figure out who flipped. This should be like a no-brainer for them, but it was very difficult for them to figure out what just happened. This episode, too, I just have to say this...
They were so confused.
Yeah, this episode was so... enjoyable and entertaining. I mean, all the stuff that happened after the eviction, we didn't get to see on the feeds because there's like a multi-hour gap between the show ending and the feeds coming back on. So we didn't get to see all this juicy goodness, but it was a lot of fun on the show tonight.
Kyle is effed. He got like the human blue screen of death. The Big Brother blue screen of death.
Yeah.
He doesn't know who flipped. I mean, excuse me. You have 9 people on the flip side, and you have 2 people who voted with you. I mean, I really don't think it's that hard to do the math.
Well, JC Lynn couldn't even figure out that Gino also voted the same way as her. She, got into it with Kyle. She thought that Kyle set up this whole plan... so that she would look like an idiot.
You suck at lying.
You did a good job of that yourself.
Do you know what's going on? Do you know where you are? Do you, JC Lynn? Do you know what's going on?
Yeah, clearly she does not. But Kyle was like, what are you talking about?
Why the hell are you listening to Kyle when you're not listening to the one that you lay with?
Not even... why would she think that Kyle would orchestrate something like this?
That was ridiculous. But then when Kyle was like, oh, it couldn't have been Marty, and I guess the other one was you. So then she didn't trust Gino, but you're with him.
Yeah.
You're doing stuff with him.
I guess he assumed that there was no way that Marty would flip his vote because Marty is the one that convinced Kyle to put Josh up in the first place.
Yes, that's all fine and good for Kyle.
No, I know, but JC Lynn not believing Gino, what?
Come on.
Absolutely wild.
She's a dum-dum.
Well, Herman pulled Gino aside right away and was like, all right, I flipped my vote. I voted Steph out. This is why.
Because Kyle sucks.
He was talking about how he feels like Kyle really blew up his game last week, blew up so many alliances that he was a part of.
He disrespected Herman amongst others.
Yeah, so that really went a long way with Gino. He appreciated that Herman was honest and upfront about it, so...
You ready for some girl chat?
Sure.
JC Lynn and Summer?
Ugh, mess.
Poor JC Lynn. She's so dumb. I hate being made an idiot by a man. Who, Kyle? No, Gino.
And Summer was like... But this was also just a weird thing because it's pretty obvious on the feeds that Summer is into Gino. And hearing JC Lynn talk like this and be like, I can't even trust Gino, Summer was probably like,
All right, so... Herman confronts Kyle, or actually, I guess Kyle confronted Herman, and Herman said, hey, man, you really effed up.
Yeah. He said it was like a slap in the face as a man or something.
Your
Kyle was
HOH
like, wait, what?
was a real shit show.
Kyle doesn't even realize what a disaster his HOH was last week.
He didn't think it was out of the ordinary.
Kyle.
Yes.
That was one of the most insane HOHs I've ever seen on this show.
I just don't get it, because, let's just... Kyle discovered that Canada wanted him on the game. had an entire year to study and learn and prepare and everything, and that is what you do?
Can I remind you of something?
Yes.
Kyle is 23 years young. So he's young. He's a youngin'. He has a lot of life experience ahead of him. Also, if he only started watching the show a year ago, you know, like, I know he's watched a bunch of seasons, but there's a huge difference between watching the show and actually watching the feeds and seeing how the game is really played and all that.
I see.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. Last week was nuts. But anyway.
But it really does come down to the golden rule. To treat others how you want to be treated.
Of course.
So why would you be such a D when you're the HOH?
Because he's 23 years old and arrogant.
But the HOH only lasts 1 week. And
yeah, that's something that a lot of HOHs seem to forget.
Yeah. You're not going to be the HOH much longer. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, how about those like asides when Herman and Summer were both talking to the cameras, and Summer was like, "Don't come for my people," and Herman was like, I don't even remember what he said. He was basically like, "You effed up, Kyle."
Yeah. All right. So it's time for the HOH comp.
All right. We already saw.
We did.
That Gino.
Well, let's relive it. He's in the storage room. And he's like at Dan Flash's going through all the shirts.
Not a Dan Flash's reference. Oh my god. If you guys don't know who Dan Flash's is, just Google it. It's so funny.
Yeah. So he's going through, memorizing all the prices, getting aggressive, and he studied hard.
He did study hard.
And it paid off.
Gotta give him props, because he really did rock out that comp.
He did win in
the
overtime.
Tiebreaker. Yeah.
Yeah. So he didn't study out of the ordinary, really, because there were like 3 other people who were also tied. Come on, so it wasn't that great.
Still, you know, I didn't think that competition was going to be this early on.
But freaking Marty with that ridiculous guess, like 15,000 seconds.
What? Okay, anyway.
Come on, Marty.
When Gino won the competition, it was super awkward because Gino was all like, "I have no emotions." And like, he didn't know what to think. He was like,
And JC Lynn was like,
yeah, she was like, "Oh, great, he won.
Great, my liar boyfriend won."
Usually people are a little more excited when their showmances win HOH, or like when you win HOH yourself. Usually you're happy about it. You're like, "Wow, this is awesome."
Yeah.
But just...
Maybe he thought he was going to have to go up on the block. I don't know.
Was he a PAX bro?
Yes. All right, so after the HOH competition,
there's still a lot to unpack here.
Marty knows he's in trouble.
Yeah.
Marty knows, wait a minute now, I effed up. There was only 2 people who voted the way that
Kyle wanted.
Yes.
Well, Marty's like, "Holy crap, I just turned on Gino hard, and now he won HOH. Like, what are the chances of that?" They had so many people competing for this HOH. It was like everybody else versus Gino and JC Lynn.
Yeah.
And everybody else blew it.
Yeah. All right. Well, I thought Betty was pretty close, though.
Well, she made it to the tiebreaker.
Yeah, but I thought, like, if she hadn't gone over...
I don't remember what her answer was.
It was
I'm pretty sure Gino was closer, even if she hadn't gone over.
But it was Price is Right rules. So
yeah.
Jess is worried that they're going up, and...
I mean, Jess has to be, like, perpetually worried, right? Because so many people have talked about targeting them.
Yes, obviously. And Josh wants Kyle to go up as a sacrifice.
I mean...
It's not a bad idea.
It'd be sick, right?
Yeah.
Josh is figuring, you know what? So many people want Kyle out. Just do this, and you can be back in everybody's good graces.
Yeah. So, did Marty actually lie about keeping Josh, or was it just Kyle that was incredulous that Marty would never have flipped? So
yeah, it was hard to tell.
Kyle was selling that idea to everybody, and it just seemed like it was Marty that was lying about it.
Yeah, it was hard to tell from what we saw on the show if Marty was actually like, "Yes, I voted for Josh to go."
I don't think he was.
I'm not really sure because, again, we didn't see this on the feeds. This was just, this was blocked.
It looks like that's something that Kyle was just assuming and floated around the house.
But did Marty go along with it, is the question. Because look at Herman. He pulled Gino aside immediately and explained what he did.
Yeah.
Marty, I think he kind of went along with it for a little while.
But did Marty avoid talking to Kyle? So, like, he didn't own up to it because he didn't have the opportunity to? Or...
I don't know.
Because I had thought that Marty was like, yeah, that he had lied.
Well, I mean, it comes out eventually. Marty's talking to Kyle, and Kyle's like, how did you vote? And Marty says, I voted for Josh to stay. Ah!
And Kyle was like, oh, what?
Yeah, he's like, what the hell, bruh? You're the
Yeah.
one who told me to put Josh up.
Yeah. And he can't believe that Marty flipped.
Yeah.
He just can't believe it.
So he's like, oh, so, like, Gino and JC Lynn are the ones that voted for Steph to stay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And freaking Gino and JC Lynn, it took them a while to realize what that added up to. Like, you can trust each other again.
And they're like, oh, okay.
Because didn't Gino actually think that
Gino thought that JC Lynn voted for Steph to go.
Yeah.
He also assumed that Marty was the vote with him.
Well, those two dum-dums belong together then, don't they?
There's somebody for everybody.
That's a match made in BB Can heaven.
Oh, my goodness.
When are they going to get engaged? All right, so it's Gino's HOH room time.
Okay. He can be a little happier now that he knows that JC Lynn is with him.
Yes, so he got a little stuffed dog. He got a picture of his dog.
Mm-hmm.
That's
a cute dog.
He got pictures of his family.
Yeah.
He's very close with his family, as every Greek family knows. He got a nightlight.
This dude, oh my god. He's afraid of the dark.
He's a freaking fireman. And he got a little nightlight. Because he didn't want to pee his pants if he had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night.
Oh my god.
All right.
I'm just still shooketh that they gave him a nightlight in his freaking HOH basket.
What'd you think of his loungewear from Winners?
It looked comfy.
It did look really nice.
Very comfy.
All right, so after the HOH room, it's time for pizza party.
So I think this was kind of like a St. Patrick's Day celebration. Because it was like
Thursday
night. So yeah, they got a bunch of pizzas. They got beer.
They got the special cups. That means you're having a party. You're gonna get schwasty.
Unfortunately, whenever they have a party like this, they turn the feeds off for like hours.
It was a big booze up.
We're not allowed to watch them drink on the feeds.
Knows what went down at that party, because from what we saw, what they showed us was Marty and Moose kissing, people jumping into the hot tub with their clothes on. People slurring their words.
It looked like they had a good time.
Okay.
The next morning, everybody's like, oh, it was so nice to like have a break from the game for a few hours, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Yeah, now that the partying is out of the way, I'm sorry, I just thought back to that wild party they had last season when Victoria was dancing around like crazy.
On the sofa?
Yeah. It just flashed into my mind. Oh my god, I miss her.
All right, so Gino's one-on-ones. This is the Gino Rebuild Trust Tour.
Yeah. He was saying a lot of the same stuff to everybody about how he can't trust anyone at this point. He's got to work on his relationships this week, yada, yada, yada. And he also had a list of questions that he was asking everyone.
Asking all those questions.
Some of them were game-related, like why do you deserve to be here? Who do you not want to go this week? And then there was other stuff, like do you prefer the beach or snow? And then the final question.
If you are at home and the door is locked and you don't have any clothes on and you do a number 2 on the toilet and there's no toilet paper, what's your plan of action? What would you do?
I'm not discussing this.
Right.
But yeah, he was asking everyone that, and he said he was just trying to like throw people off, and he was like ranking everybody's scores and keeping track of it with gummy worms. I mean, it was kind of like funny, but it was also like, are you like 5 years old? Like, it's kind of gross.
All right, well, my favorite one-on-one was Kevin.
Oh, yes.
Kevin dressed up as Andrew Gross, the attorney.
Yes.
In his lawyer clothes. And when when he sat down and Gino said, "Who am I talking to right now? Am I talking to Andrew or Kevin?"
And he was all serious. He was like, Kevin.
Yeah. So that was great.
Honestly, though, like him with this shtick, he really did break the ice with Gino, and it worked, and it made Gino more comfortable talking to him, and they actually had a really good conversation.
Yeah.
And I feel like Gino left that convo feeling really good about Kevin, and feeling like he could trust Kevin.
Right.
So, Kevin, honestly, I misjudged him before this. I did not think that he was going to have the charisma that he was claiming he would.
I think Kevin is on a learning curve because I think Kevin was in real danger in the very beginning. And as the season has been going on, I think Kevin has really eased into his persona.
I hope we're not jinxing him right now.
I hope not, because I really like Kevin.
I feel like he's been doing great in the game, but also I'm just enjoying him on the feeds and on the show. He brings a lot.
I mean, I like who he is on the show. I may not like who he is in real life.
Well, we don't know him
or
in
vice
real life,
versa.
so.
Exactly. So I'm just going from what I know of Kevin on the show. And Kevin is very entertaining. And Kevin deserves a raise.
Oh.
Yes. Extra pizza. It's time for Wendy's.
Okay.
Everybody's favorite. Bite that burger, baby. And Josh was Gino's guest for Wendy's.
I mean, it's a smart choice when you're one of two votes to vote that person out and then they stay. You better be taking them to Wendy's.
Yeah. So, Gino went down to get the food.
Oh, this was so cringe.
And Sarah Hanlon, who looks fantastic,
who we love.
by the way.
Oh, so nice to see Sarah again. I loved her on her season.
I love her hair dark. She looks great. She looks like she's living her best life. And she's trying to give Gino advice. And Gino's like, who's this girl?
I don't know her.
Who's this girl?
That girl, Sarah.
I didn't watch season 3.
I don't think Gino's seen much of this show.
I don't think Gino's seen a lot of things.
I don't know. But yeah, Sarah was giving him advice. Don't count anyone out. Don't overthink things. Enjoy
great advice.
it. Yeah. Oh.
Oh, my dishwasher's done.
But Gino was just like, I don't know her.
Yeah.
So I have to say, too, Josh and Gino really seemed to bond during their Wendy's date. Yeah. And I think that's going to be an important factor this week.
I think so. All right, so Kevin and Betty.
Oh, I love this segment.
This is amazing. They hated each other in the beginning. Well, I don't know if Kevin hated Betty, but Betty sure hated Kevin.
They have had such an interesting trajectory here.
They've gone from this to this.
I don't want to call it, like, the enemies to lovers trope, because it's like...
They're not lovers.
It's enemies to, like, brother and sister. Like, they have, like, a brother and sister vibe.
It's more than brother and sister.
Like what?
It's like besties.
Okay. But I'm glad that they're realizing that...
They're hilarious together.
They're good together, yeah.
Yeah.
They were getting personal, talking about... Betty was saying, oh, I heard about you today. Marty said that you'll be a really good dad. And Kevin, like, starts crying. Oh, my God. And
that was great.
They were bonding. Betty was talking about her dad, who she was taking care of.
Do you think Kevin was crying because he wanted to have kids and that was very touching? Or do you think he was crying because he decided that he's never having kids? And
I think he's crying because, like, he's making real connections in there with people.
It's good. It's great to see.
Because I love that. I want to see more of them on the show.
There is a little heart inside that Grinch body. All right, well, let's talk about Marty feeling bad first.
Okay.
Kevin says Marty's too good for this game.
Marty is really torn up about having to turn on Gino.
Not
really Kyle as much because he feels like it was deserved, but...
Marty wants to be a stand-up guy. He wants to look like a good person. He wants to represent his community. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want to be a snake.
And now that Gino has won HOH, Marty is like, I don't want to just go and kiss Gino's ass.
I don't want to run to power.
He doesn't want to be flipping back and forth from week to week. He made this decision to go to the other side, so he wants to stick with that. And Kevin is just like, Marty... This is a game that has lying. Like, you're going to have to lie at some point. It's okay.
I feel like Marty is the monk in Angels and Demons or whatever. Is that the one? He's got a...
Oh! In the Da Vinci Code?
In the Da Vinci Code. He's got to, like, hit himself with a whip or whatever.
I don't know.
Because he's feeling really guilty, and he knows that he deserves to go up on the block, whether he goes up or not.
Well, Marty does have a conversation with Gino, and he says straight up, like, you can put me up on the block. I understand. I would put me up on the block.
Oui.
Yeah. And Gino is like, I think I'm going to have to put you up on the block, because Gino wants to set a precedent here. Yeah. If you mess with me, it doesn't matter how close you are to me, you're going up on the block.
If you play with the bull, you get the horns?
Pretty much.
All right. So now we can talk about Kyle and Gino.
Okay.
Gino says, look, you suck. I'm guilty by association with you.
Yeah.
And that sucks.
Kyle was asking, well, like, what do you think about maybe Herman going up on the block? And Gino's like, I think no. He said he had a really good conversation with Herman. He feels like he can still work with him. Mm-hmm. So he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to go down that road.
Well, it ends up that Gino's short list is Marty, T, a.k.a. Tanisha, and Jess.
Okay. And so Marty's definitely going up.
Yeah,
it's just a question of, will it be Tanisha or Jess next to him?
So Dum J.C. Lynn comes in and actually says something smart.
J.C. Lynn has been stepping it up in the last few days.
Yeah, she says putting Marty up, that's sexy and smart. But putting Tanisha up would be dirty.
Yeah, I mean, messy. She's like, do you have the votes for that? Like, maybe that's not a good idea. Look at what happened last week.
Tanisha's really well-liked in the house.
She is, yeah. She's got good connections.
I think that would disgust a lot of people.
Yeah, so Gino's like, you're right. It's time for nominations.
And Gino comes busting down the steps. I love the low-tech season this is, where they just go and it's simple.
Stand and deliver.
Stand and deliver, that's right. Your money or your life. So, Marty, you backstabbed me and you disrespected me, so you are my first nominee. And then, Jess, you're smart, you're strong, but you're not talking game with me, so that's dangerous.
All right. Well, this was interesting because Marty was pissed. He was fired up about Gino's speech.
He was okay about going on the block.
Yeah, he was fine with that. He knew that was going to happen. But something about that speech really bothered him. And it was weird to me because, like, that wasn't that bad.
But didn't Marty say, like, I stabbed you in the back or whatever?
I think the issue here is that Marty is just really concerned about how he's being perceived by the public, especially because Canada voted for him to have safety last week.
Right.
So he's like, he's hyper aware of it. Mm-hmm. So the fact that it was said like during a ceremony, which will 100% be on the show, I think that really struck a chord with him. Yeah, he was pissed. But we've got the veto coming up on Wednesday. I think it's going to be another great episode.
This is going to be a banner week, I feel
I have to say, though, this episode really delivered. It was good on so many different levels.
I thought this week was going to suck with Gino as the HOH.
But it's been interesting.
But you'll see as we get...
interesting.
If you're a casual, you'll see. It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let us know your thoughts on all this in the comments. Thank you for watching. And until next time, much love.